Welcome to MediaBistro.com. This is our brand new video series, Media Beat, and this week we are joined by the one and only Mr. Morgan Spurlock. Morgan, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Danya Blaze, Senior Editor for MediaBistro.com, and we just wanted to welcome you.
Is this part of the show brought to you by McDonald's?
With a very special gift.
Yeah. I'll save that for later. Yeah, I have a special place for that.
Well, speaking of that, we'll just start with McDonald's and Super Size Me, which is how most people know you. Tell everybody how that film came together, why you decided to do it.
Yeah, it was. We'd been talking about making a feature film for a long time, and didn't really know what to do. I'd written a play that won the Fringe Festival here in New York City a year or two before that, and I just adapted that into a feature-length screenplay, and we didn't feel like that was quite right. The thing we should do next, and on Thanksgiving of 2003, I got the idea for Super Size Me, a very fitting and ironic day to get the idea for Super Size Me. I was on my mom's couch in a tryptophan haze and said, wow, that's a great idea for a film. We should move forward with that. Yeah.
Were you ever nervous about, because when you think about corporations, it doesn't really get much bigger.
No, they don't get much bigger. They don't get much more litigious than them. They're and of course we were concerned the whole time, like when this film comes out, is it ever going to see the light of day? Are we going to get shut down? Are they going to come after us? Are they going to put us in court forever? And they literally, like, we did so much due diligence before the film was finished. Like, I had a gaggle of lawyers that I was consulting with. I read more law over the course of making this film than a criminal would. Like, I learned so much about what I could and couldn't say.
And that, I mean, for that to be your first major film, I mean, you couldn't get a bigger success than that. I mean, you got nominated for an Oscar.
It was amazing.
Sweeping film.
It's all downhill from there.
Yeah. Well, that was my question. Coming off of such a big success, was it hard going into your next project or thinking about what
well, I mean, we were really fortunate. We had the idea of what we wanted to do next while we were finishing Super Size Me, which was the TV series 30 Days, which literally was loosely based on the whole concept of 30 days, where you immerse someone in a situation that's kind of different to their own beliefs or their own environment, and it was great. We ended up doing 3 seasons of that show, 18 episodes, which was incredibly rewarding. Got recognized by a lot of people, around the world. So that was next. It was a great thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you probably get people approaching you a lot with their ideas, their scripts. Morgan, I want you to do this project. Yeah. How do you know what a good project will be, or what will make a good film or documentary?
I mean, for me, it just has to be something that kind of speaks to me. Something I'm passionate about, something that I think is a different way to tell a story or is unique. I got approached to do Freakonomics, which will come out next year. Myself and 5 other filmmakers each did a piece of that book. It's kind of an ensemble cast of directors, and so it's me, Alex Gibney, who did Enron's Smartest Guys in the Room and Taxi to the Dark Side, the girls who did Jesus Camp, Eugene Jarecki, who did Why We Fight. So, like, literally, it's these filmmakers that I respect so much. So when I got approached to that film, I was like, absolutely, you don't say no to something like that.
Who would you say inspires you, or who are your filmmaking role models?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, well, in terms of documentary filmmakers, of course, if it wasn't for Michael Moore, Super Size Me never would have even made it in theaters. I wouldn't really get to tell the stories that I tell in the way that I get to tell them. He was one of the first people who said, documentary films can have a sense of humor. They can actually, be funny. Barbara Koppel, I love. Steve James, Errol Morris. These are people that I just really, really admire. Alex Gibney, who I mentioned before, but I think that, and then there's scripted filmmakers. Like, there's so many people I grew up watching who make narrative movies. Like, I love Elia Kazan, who did On the Waterfront and A Face in the Crowd. A Face in the Crowd is my favorite scripted movie of all time. It's a great commentary on the power of media and the influence of media, so anybody who hasn't seen that, you should watch A Face in the Crowd by Elia Kazan. It will change your life. Yeah.
Great. Well, Morgan, stick around because you mentioned the Simpsons project. I do want to talk about that because that's coming up soon. This is MediaBistro.com's Media Beat with Morgan Spurlock. Stay tuned for part 2.